welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something seemingly simple. Sunscreen. We've looked through a lot of research, articles, common questions you might have, really trying to cut through the noise.
To give you the clearest picture.
Exactly. What's the real power of using it daily for your long-term health?
And, to really get why it's so vital, we need to quickly touch on UV radiation. There's UVA and UVB.
Right, the two main types.
UVB, that's the one causing sunburn, direct DNA damage. A straight line to skin cancer, really.
Okay.
But UVA, it's sneakier. Longer wavelength, goes deeper, causes wrinkles, aging, but also contributes to cancer.
So you need protection from both.
Absolutely, both. And it matters because, well, the stats are pretty sobering. About 1 in 5 Americans will get skin cancer.
The 1 in 5. Wow. Okay, so let's unpack that. Most people think sunscreen, they think avoiding a burn, right? But how does using it daily actually become like a medical necessity against cancer?
The evidence is really quite strong. Take melanoma, the most dangerous kind. Consistent daily use. Studies show it can slash your risk by 50%.
50%?
Yeah. And even just, regular use of SPF 15 or higher brings it down by 30%. For other common types, squamous cell, basal cell, daily use cuts risk by around 30–40%.
So these aren't just small numbers. These are measurable, significant drops in cancer risk.
Exactly. Proven reductions.
Okay, so cancer prevention is huge. But then there's the aging aspects, which, let's be honest, gets a lot of attention. Can sunscreen actually reverse photoaging, not just slow it down?
Well, reverse is strong, but it does actively improve things. It protects collagen, elasticity, the stuff UV rays just shred.
Right.
There was this one study, really fascinating. It showed significant improvements. Skin texture, clarity, pigmentation, some up by 50% in just a year.
In a year?
Yeah, and everyone in that study saw clearer, smoother skin. And then there's that Australian study, 4.5 years, daily users, basically no detectable aging compared to the control group.
No discernible aging. That's pretty incredible. It's not just stopping damage, it's helping the skin repair look better.
It really seems that way. Active restoration.
All right, so the benefits are clear. But what about the concerns you might have? We hear a lot about chemical filters, like oxybenzone getting absorbed.
That's true. Some chemical filters are absorbed. The FDA knows this. Oxybenzone, for instance, showed up at levels needing more review.
So what's the FDA saying now?
They're asking the industry for more safety data, reevaluating that GRACE status, generally recognized as safe and effective.
Okay.
But, and this is really key, the FDA's official line is still that the public health benefits, the cancer prevention we just talked about, they overwhelmingly outweigh these theoretical concerns right now.
Theoretical because the links aren't fully proven in humans.
Exactly. Things like potential hormone disruption, often seen in animal studies at really high doses, not firmly established in people. There are other things too, like rare allergies or the environmental impact on coral reefs, hence the bans in places like Hawaii.
Right, the oxybenzone and octinoxate bans.
Yes. And for anyone worried about any of that, mineral sunscreens are a great alternative. Zinc oxide, titanium dioxide, they sit on the skin, aren't absorbed like that. Widely recommended, especially for sensitive skin.
Okay, that's helpful. Now, a really common question you might be thinking. Vitamin D, does wearing sunscreen every day mess that up? Cause a deficiency?
Ah, the vitamin D myth. It persists, but no, the evidence doesn't support it.
Really?
Yeah. See, no sunscreen blocks 100%. SPF 15 blocks about 93% of UVB. SPF 30 blocks around 97%. That little bit getting through. It's generally enough for your body to make vitamin D.
Huh. I didn't realize some still gets through.
Plus, your body actually limits how much vitamin D it makes from the sun anyway. You hit your max pretty quickly, maybe 10–15 minutes a few times a week. After that, your body stops.
So soaking up more sun doesn't mean more vitamin D after a point.
Correct. That's why health advice is consistent. Get your vitamin D from your diet, maybe supplements, not from skipping sun protection.
Makes sense. Okay, another myth. People with darker skin tones don't need sunscreen. True or false?
Definitely false. Everyone needs it. Melanin offers some natural protection, sure, but it's usually only around an SPF of like 13.
Which isn't enough.
Not nearly enough for proper protection against aging and cancer risk. And, for cosmetic reasons, if someone's worried about a white cast from mineral formulas, there are great micronized or tinted options now. They blend much better.
Good tip. Okay, so we've covered a lot.
Yeah.
Based on all this evidence, what should you actually do? What's the practical advice?
All right, keep it simple. Choose broad spectrum that covers UVA and UVB. Go for SPF 30 or higher, and make sure it's water resistant if you'll be sweating or swimming.
Mineral or chemical.
That's often personal preference unless you have sensitive skin or for kids or during pregnancy, then mineral is usually the go-to. Zinc oxide, titanium dioxide.
And how much? People usually don't use enough, right?
That's a huge issue. You need about 1 ounce. Think a shot glass full for your whole body, and maybe a nickel-size amount, like a quarter teaspoon, just for your face. Apply it before you go out, maybe 15-30 minutes before, and reapply. Every 2 hours is standard.
Or even more often if swimming or sweating.
Definitely. And remember, sunscreen isn't the only tool.
Yeah.
Seeking shade, wearing protective clothing, hats, sunglasses, it's all part of a smart sun strategy.
Okay, so wrapping this up, the takeaway seems pretty clear. The medical evidence is overwhelmingly in favor of daily sunscreen use. The proven upsides, less cancer, less visible aging, really do seem to dwarf the currently theoretical risks.
Absolutely. Which leads to maybe a final thought for you. How might making this one simple change, this daily habit, fundamentally change your skin's health trajectory, decades down the line? Something to consider, how this knowledge really empowers your choices going forward.